Now, the next one is the role of woman in the warfare. See, the famous women from the warfare are the women warriors played a significant role in ancient Indian history and the warfare, both in mythology and the real world conflicts. Some notable examples include the Vishpala, the mention in the Rig Veda, and the various warrior queens like Rani Abakka, Rani Durgavati, and Rani Lakshmibai, who led armies and defended their kingdoms. Mythological figures like Durga and Kali are also depicted as a powerful warrior goddesses. See, at the ancient time, the Vishpala was there, and her name is mentioned in the Rig Veda. Okay, as well as Rani Durgavati, Rani Abakka is there, and the Rani Lakshmibai. All these are the famous women warriors are there. Okay, the next one is the training of women warriors. In the ancient India, the women participated in warfare and were trained in combat, though their roles varied. While not always in front line combat roles, they were involved in providing support, acting as a bodyguards, and even leading troops. Some women warriors, like the Queen Vishpana mentioned in the Rig Veda, actively engaged in the battle. See, the all women are playing a vital role in the warfare, but the everyone is not standing on the ground for the battle. See, some are standing behind the that that standing behind the that men who were going to fight. Okay, the I already mentioned the name of woman, that is Vishpala. So her name is taken from the Rig Veda. She actively engaged on the ground. Now, the weapons used by the women warriors. In ancient India, the women warriors utilized a variety of weapons, include the bows and the arrows. See, ancient टाईमचे जे वुमन होते त्या पण धनुष्य बाणाचा यूज करत होत्या. त्यानंतर द डॅगर्स, सच ॲज अ कटार, जसं कट्यार असतं त्या टाईपमध्ये छोटंसं असतं ते डॅगर, स्पियर्स अँड द शिल्ड्स. They also employed the more specialized weapons like the urumi, a whip sword, and the chakram, a throwing disc. A mythological folklore often depict the women warriors using these weapons with a great skill and bravery. सी तुम ॲक्च्युली ते कोणते कोणते वेपन्स यूज करत होते, ते स्वॉर्ड्स यूज करत होते, ते डॅगर्स यूज करत होते. ओके, त्याच्यानंतर ते चक्रम यूज करत होते. ऑल दीज वेपन्स यूज्ड बाय दी women. Now, the roles of women in military strategies and the administration. In ancient India, the women played diverse role in warfare, ranging from active combatants and bodyguards to the strategics and even rulers. While not always the norm, evidence suggests women were involved in military companions, palaces, security, and held the position of power, including queens who ruled kingdom. See, the women are played a diverse role in the warfare, ranging from active their participation as the role of bodyguards. While not always the norms, evidence suggested the women were involved in the military companions, palaces, security, and held position of power, including the queens who ruled the kingdom. Okay. Now the next one topic is the role of religion and rituals in the warfare. The introduction to religions and rituals in the warfare. The ancient India, the warfare was deeply interviewed with religion and the rituals, shaping both the conduct and perceptions of conflict. The religious beliefs and the philosophical concept influenced military strategies, codes of conduct, and even the justification for the war. These included adhering to specific rules of engagement, seeking divine blessing for victory, and integrating religious ceremonies into military practices. See, what is the role of religion and rituals in the warfare? See, the religion and rituals plays a role both the shaping and conducting the perception of the conflict. See, some religious beliefs are there, some philosophical concepts are there. Okay, and the religions are specifies justifies the war. Okay, and they seeking the divine blessing for the victory. See, म्हणजे एखाद्या युद्धाच्या आधी एखादी पूजा केली जायची. ओके, दॅट इज अ रोल ऑफ दॅट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ दॅट रिलिजन. आणि रिच्युअल्स, दॅट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ रिच्युअल, की हे जसं अश्वमेध यज्ञ वगैरे केल्यानंतर युद्धामध्ये हा विजय हा नक्की मिळायचा असं म्हटलं जायचं. मग दॅट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ अवर रिच्युअल अँड रिलिजन. नेक्स्ट वन, प्री वॉर रिच्युअल्स अँड द सेरेमनीज. सी, in ancient India, the warfare was not solely a matter of the military strategies and the tactics, but also involved the elaborate rituals and the ceremonies that were deeply intertwined with religious and social beliefs. These practices aimed to ensure the divine favor, legitimize the king's power, and instill a sense of honor and duty in the warriors. See, some pre-rituals were there, some ceremonies were there. Okay, they did that and they thought that the shows द किंग्स पॉवर. प्री रिच्युअल्स करून आपण समोर ज्याच्याशी आपले युद्ध करायचे त्याला आपण आपले किंगची पॉवर शो करण्याचं तिथे असायचं. नेक्स्ट वन, यूज ऑफ वॉर चॅन्ट अँड मंत्राज. In ancient warfare, mantras, war chants served both the psychological and the spiritual purposes, aiming to boost morale, instill fear in the enemy, and even invoke divine assistance. These vocalizations were not mere battle cries but were often deeply embedded in religious and the philosophical systems, linking the warfare to cosmic forces and the spiritual power. See, मंत्र आणि चांट्सचा यूज केला जायचा की ज्याच्यामुळे युद्धाच्या वेळेस एक स्पिरिच्युअल पॉवर त्यांना भेटायची. ओके, अँड दिस वोकलायझेशन वेअर नॉट मेअर बॅटल क्रायसिस बट वेअर ऑफ्टन डीपली एम्बेडेड इन रिलिजियस अँड फिलॉसॉफिकल सिस्टम. त्याच्यामुळे युद्धामध्ये काही फरक पडत नव्हता, पण ते जे सैन्य होतं त्यांच्यामध्ये काय यायचं, एक रिलिजियस पॉवर यायची आणि एक फिलॉसॉफिकल त्यांच्यामध्ये एक सिस्टम असायची. Okay, next one topic is the post-war rehabilitation and the diplomacy. See, the treatment of defected enemies. In ancient time, the treatment of defeated enemies varied significantly, ranging from insolventment and the execution to more humane practices like the ransom or even assimilation. While the slaughter and enslavement were common, some cultures are also emphasized ethical conduct in warfare, including caring for the wounded and respecting non-combatants. See, आता बऱ्यापैकी युद्ध होऊन गेल्यानंतर जे काय आपले डिफिटेड एनिमीज असेल त्यांनाही ट्रीटमेंट केली जायची, म्हणजे त्यांच्या ज्या जखम असायच्या त्यांना केअर करण्यासाठी त्याच्यावरती ट्रीटमेंट केली जायची. ओके, अशा ते डिफेक्टेड एनिमीजवरती पण ट्रीटमेंट होते. नेक्स्ट वन इज अ रिहॅबिलेशन ऑफ द सोल्जर. In ancient India, the rehabilitation of soldier was an important aspect of warfare, with duties outlined for both during and after combat. The concept of dharma and the kshatriya dharma emphasizes the protection and care of soldier, both one's own and even enemies, especially those who surrendered. These included the providing the medical care, ensuring safe evacuation from the battlefield, and even offering refuge to those seeking protection. रिहॅबिलेशन ऑफ सोल्जर हा एकदम महत्त्वाचा ॲस्पेक्ट होता वॉरफेअर, ज्याच्यामध्ये 2 ड्युटी असायची, एक धर्म ड्युटी असायची आणि एक क्षत्र धर्म ड्युटी असायची. धर्म ड्युटी म्हणजे त्याच्यामध्ये धर्म म्हणजे काय असायचं तर ड्युटी असायचं, आणि क्षत्र धर्म म्हणजे काय ते आपल्या जे काय आपलं वॉरियरचं वेपन आहे त्याच्याशी म्हणजे त्याच्याशी रिलेटेड आपली ड्युटी असायची. Okay, the next one is the diplomacy and the treaties of post-war. In ancient India, the diplomacy and the treaties were crucial tools for the managing conflict and the shaping political landscapes, both during and after warfare. Ancient texts like the Ramayana and Mahabharata, as well as the treaties like the Arthashastra, details the importance of negotiation, alliances, and the observance of rules in the warfare. सी, निगोशिएशनचा प्रकार त्यावेळेस पण केला जात होतं वॉरच्या आधी, म्हणजे की हे युद्ध रोखू आपण, आपल्या ज्या काही डिमांड्स आहे किंवा समोरच्या काही डिमांड्स आहे ते ऐकून त्याच्यात निगोसिएशन करून हे युद्ध कसं रोखता येईल हे त्यावेळेस केलं जात होतं. नेक्स्ट वन, वॉर प्रिपरेशन अँड देअर इफेक्ट्स. In ancient India, the war was recurring the reality, and while the concept of war reparation as understood in modern international law might not have been formalized, the practice of exacting tribute, the resources from the defected kingdoms was the common. These often involved the transfer of wealth, land, or even the subjunction of the defeated ruler, effectively serving as a form of the compensation for the victor. See, जे काय म्हणजे टीम विन होणार, त्यांना विक्ट्री भेटणार, त्या टीमला हारलेल्या टीमकडनं बऱ्याच गोष्टी भेटायच्या, जसे की ट्रान्सफर ऑफ वेल्थ, आपली संपत्ती द्यावा लागायची, लँड द्यावा लागायची, इवन दो जे काय आपले रूलर आहे, डिफिटेड रूलर आहे, सैन्य आहे, ते सुद्धा त्यांना जायचे. ऑल दिस हे सगळं हारलेल्या टीमला ॲज अ कंपेन्सेशन म्हणून त्यांना द्यावं लागायचं. नेक्स्ट वन इज अ इन्फ्लुएन्स ऑफ एन्शियंट इंडियन वॉरफेअर ऑन द वर्ल्ड. See, the ancient Indian warfare influence on the Greek warfare. First one, the ancient Indian warfare, while influenced by its unique geographical and societal factors, also saw the interaction and influences from the Greek military practices, particularly after Alexander's the Great's invasion. While Greek warfare emphasized the hoplite phalanx and the heavily armed infantry, Indian warfare was not more diverse, incorporating the elephants, chariots, cavalry, and the infantry with the strong emphasis on the archery. The arrival of Alexander and the subsequent Indo-Greek kingdoms led to exchange in military strategies and technologies, but also highlighted the difference in their approaches to the war. See, ग्रीक वॉरियर्स होते, फॉर एक्झाम्पल द अलेक्झांडर. तर अलेक्झांडरने बघितलं की एन्शंटमध्ये आपल्या की जसे की एलिफंट्स यूज होतो, चॅरियट्स यूज होतो, कॅव्हलरीज यूज होतो, तर त्यांनी पण त्यांच्याकडे ह्या टेक्निक्स काय करून घेतल्या, ॲडॅप्ट करून घेतल्या. द इन्फ्लुएन्स ऑन चायनीज वॉरफेअर. While direct the large-scale military conflict was limited, ancient India and China influenced each other's warfare through the spread of ideas and the technology, particularly in the context of Buddhism, trade, and geographical factors. The Himalayas acted as a natural barrier, and both civilizations emphasized the peace, but trade and the culture exchange, especially Buddhism, facilitated some interaction and exchange of military ideas. See, in case of China and India, the Himalaya was there. सो चायना आणि इंडियामध्ये तशी कुठल्या प्रकारचे जास्त वॉर झालेले नाही आहे, पण त्यांच्यामध्ये रॅदर दॅन दी वॉर बुद्धिझम हा एक कॉमन पार्ट होता, जो की एक्सचेंज झाला चायनामध्ये आणि इंडियामध्ये. ओके, आणि कल्चरल एक्सचेंज झालं, ट्रेड एक्सचेंज झाले. ओके, नाव द नेक्स्ट वन इज इन्फ्लुएन्स ऑन साऊथ ईस्ट एशियन वॉरफेअर. Ancient Indian significantly influenced Southeast Asian warfare primarily through the cultural exchange and the trade, rather than direct military consequence. While India had a strong warrior tradition and developed sophisticated military strategies, its impact on Southeast Asia was largely through a peaceful spread of Indian culture, religion, and administrative practices, which in turn influenced warfare in the region. नाव द नेक्स्ट वन इज द इम्पॅक्ट ऑन मॉडर्न वॉरफेअर स्ट्रॅटेजीज. आत्ता जे काही रिसेंट वॉरफेअर होतं त्याच्यावरती एन्शंटचा काय इम्पॅक्ट झाला. एन्शंट इंडियन वॉरफेअर स्ट्रॅटेजी, पर्टिक्युलरली दोज हायलाइटेड इन द टेक्स्ट लाईक द अर्थशास्त्र, ऑफर द व्हॅल्युएबल इन्साइट that are relevant to the modern military thinking. Concepts like the asymmetrical warfare, strategic deception, and the importance of intelligence gathering prevalent in ancient India are how recognized as the key components of contemporary warfare. See, जे अर्थशास्त्रामध्ये युद्धाचे बऱ्याच नीती सांगितलेल्या होत्या त्याचा आत्ता आपण यूज करतो, जसं की स्ट्रॅटेजिक डिसेप्शन पाहिजे, आपली एक स्ट्रॅटेजी पाहिजे, असिमेट्रिकल वॉरफेअर पाहिजे. ओके, द फर्दर मोर द emphasis on logistic, troop morale, and the use of terrain as detailed in the ancient military treaties continue to be the crucial elements in modern military planning. Now the next one is that the evolution and legacy of ancient Indian warfare. The changes in warfare over centuries. Ancient Indian warfare evolved significantly over centuries, transitioning from smaller clan-based conflicts with basic bronze weapon to large organized armies and sophisticated weaponry and tactics, including the war, elephants, cavalry, and advanced fortification. Military strategies as detailed in the text like the Arthashastra, playing a crucial role in shaping the warfare, emphasizing the epizone, diplomacy, and the blend of righteous conduct and the ruthless. सी द चेंजेस इन वॉरफेअर ओव्हर द सेंचुरीज. म्हणजे जे काय ट्रान्झिशन झालं ते स्मॉलर बॅटलकडनं कुठेही होत गेलं. म्हणजे जे काय आधी वेपन्स यूज व्हायचे त्याच्यामध्ये पहिले दगडाचे होते, लाकडाचे होते, त्याचं चेंज कुठे आलं, ब्रॉन्झमध्ये आलं. ब्रॉन्झ यूज केलं जायला लागलं. त्याच्यानंतर त्यांच्या ज्या युद्धनीती होत्या, टॅक्टिक्स होत्या त्या चेंज झाल्या. एलिफंट्सचा यूज होऊ लागला. अगेन कॅव्हलरी वाढली, मिलिटरी वाढली. ऑल दीज अँड दोज विच कॅन बी बेस्ड ऑन द अर्थशास्त्र. Legacy of ancient Indian warfare in literature and the art. Ancient Indian literature and the arts are rich with the legacy of warfare, reflecting its centrality in the society, politics, and the culture. Epics like the Mahabharata and Ramayana, along with the texts like the Arthashastra and the Harashcharita, showcase the battles, military strategies, and the ethos of warrior. These influence extend to the various art forms with war and its theme, inspiring poets, writers, and the artists, shaping the cultural identity and even fostering the national unity. See, the old epics are there, like Mahabharata is there, Ramayana is there, along with some texts like the Arthashastra is there, Harishcharita is there. They shows the battles and the military strategies. Okay, these are our ancient literature, and due to that some writers are there, art is there, some poets are there, some writers are there, artists are there. They shaping our cultural identity there. Okay, now next one is the impact on Indian warfare system. Student, ancient Indian warfare, while vastly different from the today's, provides the insight that are being revisited by the Indian military in the modern context, particularly in the areas of strategic thinking and leadership. While ancient weaponry and the tactics are not directly applicable concepts from the text like the Arthashastra and historical companions are being studied to understand enduring the principles of the statecraft, diplomacy, and the warfare. These include the examining the leadership qualities, strategies, planning, and the importance of strong moral compass in the warfare, which are the relevant even in modern times. See, इम्पॅक्ट ऑन इंडियन वॉरफेअर सिस्टीम टुडे. जे आपल्याकडे टेक्स्ट होते, अर्थशास्त्र वगैरे होतं, त्याच्यातनं आपल्याला त्या युद्धनीती तर कळायला, पण त्याच्याचबरोबर की लिडरशिप क्वालिटीज चेक व्हायला लागली. त्याच्यानंतर स्ट्रॅटेजीचं प्लॅनिंग केल्या जायला लागलं. स्ट्रॉंग मॉरल आपण आपल्या मिलिटरीमध्ये इनबिल्ड करायला लागलो. ऑल दिस चेंजेस आर डन इन टुडेज. नाव द रोल इन शेपिंग द इंडियन हिस्ट्री. Warfare in ancient India played a significant role in shaping its history, influencing the political structure, social norms, and cultural development. From the Indus Valley civilization, early fortification, to the sophisticated military strategies detailed in the texts like the Arthashastra, warfare was a constant feature, impacting everything from the terrestrial expansion to the very ethos of society. See, the role of the Indian history. Okay, it plays a political, it gives the India not only the political structures but also some social norms is there, some cultural development is there. Also त्यावेळेस सिंधू संस्कृतीचं उगम झालं, इंडस व्हॅली सिव्हिलायझेशन, त्याच्यापासून आपण भरपूर मिलिटरी स्ट्रॅटेजीज घेतल्या. ओके, फोर्टिफिकेशनचे स्ट्रक्चर्स घेतल्या त्यांच्यापासून. ऑल दिस शेप द our nation. So thank you so much dear students. Here we completed our module Indian warfare and the weaponry.